I am the founder of Bullies Keep Out, and today we are here with Critton, war veteran, singer, songwriter, Luna guitars artist, and one of our more new Bullies Keep Out advocates. So,
Oh,
welcome. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, and your busy schedule to do this interview.
thank you. It's a pleasure to you know, even be able to sit down and have a conversation like this and to be a part of something so huge. So it's my pleasure.
Great. Yeah, we're glad to have you, and today we're going to talk about obviously, doing what you do. I think it's a great way to look at bullying and hate and anything, all forms of it, basically, with music, because music is so powerful and it's so healing, and that's obviously what you do for your career and your passion. One of the first questions I always like to go with, though, is have you ever been bullied yourself or dealt with bullying in any way, or anybody you know that might be close to you, friends or
Yeah,
family?
absolutely. I've had a lot of friends that were bullied. I ended up, I don't know, I always stayed to myself. Um, being a mixed kid, I never really had a crowd I could fit in with, or felt I could fit in with, actually. I don't probably didn't even try, but, I've seen it growing up through every grade, bullying. And, it's something I always strongly disliked, even as a kid. I knew that was something, and I didn't want to be a part of or even see it personally. It was one of those turn the other cheek type of moments for me, and look away. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody can relate to that. You see it everywhere, especially now on social media. You see bullying everywhere. you know so not firsthand personally, but definitely friends of mine that's gone through it, and I've always been the calm voice afterwards.
Yeah, no, I think social media just gave it even a bigger voice and a bigger platform to bullying. Back in my younger days when social media wasn't really a thing, I guess you can say. We had we computers. I don't want to make it sound like I'm right. Like we had
Oh yeah,
computers and stuff.
back,
I'm not that
back,
old.
yeah,
Nobody
back,
believes how old I am anyway, so it doesn't matter.
back,
But
got that. That those days.
yeah,
Yeah.
you keep back in the good old days where people actually still talked.
And then
You
there
know,
was such thing as graphics.
yeah, we had computers and stuff. We had Nintendos. We played video games. But what my basic point in that is that we talked. We had beepers basically. You had to go find a payphone and then find change, which was a pain. But um,
This,
yeah, it's like I don't miss it, but
this,
you do sometimes miss the communication and the face to face interaction. That's less and less, which I think is why people are losing empathy and not learning empathy. Which is why even
you know,
some parents that I spoke to said they don't want their kids on social media or to have phones because of that reason.
it's true. It's like, think about it. Bullying back in the day was more of like they were like boxing was one on one. Now with social media, it's like snipers. You don't see it coming. It comes out of every direction. You don't even know who's doing it.
Oh, it's
Uh,
true. Um, you know, what I find is that they think that they're hiding and they do it because they can't be seen and it's easy to say what you want to say behind a computer. I mean, honestly, you technically can be found and all that stuff if people do digging and people know how to use computers and this and that. They think that, nobody's ever going to know it was me. At some point, it all comes out.
it does.
But there's so many fake profiles and, and just people making so many profiles just to do bullying, and that's why people don't know sometimes who the real bullies are compared to the ones that are acting innocent, and then they have other accounts that they use for that,
Very true.
so they can release it. And yeah, back in the day, bullying was more verbal. It was more in the face in the schools, and it still is, and it's even tenfold. But now you have social media, and it's almost no matter what you say, you get some type of attack or backlash no matter what you do, no matter what your profession is. There's always something that somebody has to say. And it's almost like you can't even joke anymore. You can't even have fun innocently. I'm not saying, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a little bit too much
Their
sensitivity.
First Amendment, they're taking advantage of it
Right.
for the most part.
Yeah, I think that, there's,
It's
people
got to be a
say, yeah, people say like, oh, people are being overly sensitive. You can be in some situations. Like sometimes people are really not. They're like, I was talking to somebody about it the other day, and they were saying, joke is a joke, and you have people that are just trying to make people laugh, and you can't take that seriously. And I'm all for that, and I think it's great. I'm big on making people laugh. We are with BKO as well. We're always trying to make people laugh on the timelines, on the sites, and when we do interviews, we always try to keep them lighthearted and fun.
Right.
But there's an extent to where joking becomes nastiness, hateful, and bullying.
Basically.
And, I'm sure you see it all over social media. Things can get very out of hand. And even Twitter has cracked down and saying that they're making it easier to report it. Whether people are still having issues or it is really truly becoming better, it remains to be seen. I know when I've had to report things, it does seem a little bit easier. You can actually pick out tweets now when you hit the report button over your phone. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you've noticed that. And I think that's a good thing to do. Because it really needs more attention than it's getting.
Well, yeah, and it also gives that social media site an idea of what people don't like or find really offensive. And, I think it's starting to help them. I think they're starting to understand that, the power of, a negative comment or a negative post. So hopefully we'll grow as a society in this issue.
Yeah, I do hope that we do, because it's pretty out of control. It's a serious epidemic that I think people realize it, but it's almost like it's the norm, and a lot of it gets brushed under the rug, and they're like, oh, that doesn't, whatever at this point, and it's really not anything to joke about, and none of it should be swept under the rug, no matter what level of type of bullying it's under.
It's all lighthearted until they become the victims.
Right, exactly. So, in talking about that, let's talk about your music, because I, for one, find music very healing. I find I relate to a lot of songs and lyrics. When you're in certain moods and you listen to songs, or you're in a good mood, or when you work out and you're jamming and or when you just need to hear something emotional.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very healing, and I think it's just part of everyday life. And I've seen, like, I've posted quotes about this, and I've seen quotes about it that, like, life without music would be so almost upsetting. Yeah, it would be like so upsetting. And how do you feel, and how do you relate, like, your lyrics? I mean, where do they come from? Where do you get your inspiration from, your motivation?
Everything for me started in Iraq when it came to writing music. I mean, I always wrote poetry. Just, I don't know, maybe it was in my blood, but when it comes to music first and foremost, always therapy for me. It saved my life in more ways than I can possibly say. From being on the verge of breaking down from what we were seeing overseas to coming back home in the States and finding out things that actually really hurt me. Music's been there for me. That's a part of your soul. When you sing, it's part of what's inside. So for me, it's a great tool for venting too. My inspiration comes from life. I actually rarely listen to music with lyrics at all.
Oh, really?
If I feel like hearing a song, I'll try to play something that I want to feel or hear. But I don't know. Us artists are kind of crazy, so.
Aww.
Process.
No, but I think that's true. It can almost be a form of therapy. I know that it has helped me at times. Like, I would be walking, like, say you get up in the morning and you're on your way to work, and you have the Monday blues or whatever it is. You're listening to a song, and it can change your mood. It can change your way of thinking. I actually use it because, like, I'm very into meditation and yoga, and I also recommend that as a form of therapy and a tool people can use when they're dealing with bullying and whatnot, because it centers you, it clears your mind. But people have this notion that yoga and meditation can only be like, everything has to be quiet, you have to be like in a locked room in a dark space. I actually listen to music sometimes when I meditate, and that's my meditation technique, and I feel that works and does wonders.
I dig it. No, I'm right there with you. I do my own form. I mean, we've done everything from boxing. When I say we, I mean my family. But there's so many outlets and ways to relieve stress, and I think it's important for everybody to find some kind of niche. I tell veterans to come back home from the States, it doesn't have to be music, but the one thing you don't want to do is get lost in your own thoughts. That's when you start to break down if you've been through a lot. And to find something, it could be fishing, it could be yoga, it could be music, it could be working out, it could be anything. But, I'm a big believer in, self-therapy, so to speak.
Yeah, no, I understand exactly what you're saying. I think a lot of people are nowadays. They're looking for several outlets, and I always say, you need to have more than one outlet. You can't just use one thing and think, okay, that's going to solve everything. And even though, like, we can't say, okay, go listen to a song and that's going to solve your problems with bullying, or hate. But what it does is it can relieve your stress. It can help your emotions. It can put things in perspective, take the edge off. It can help you meditate. It can help you get your thoughts together. It can even help you figure out how you want to fight back against your bullies, or give you the courage, in my opinion, to stand up, speak out, and do things. I think music has more power than, I think we don't give it enough credit, and it's very much underestimated on the power of music. I mean, would you agree?
Yeah, fans, of course. Can't debate that.
I mean, you have a biased opinion a little bit, but
yeah, I'm exactly. You ask me about music, I'm all for it. But yeah, no, I think everybody has to figure out their own road, self-discovery, and things that make them feel really good. But it's kind of hard to say that music's not a big part of that, being that, when we were cavemen, we were playing, sticks of wood against rocks to make music. I mean, music's been with us from the beginning. It's evolved with us from the beginning. So, I don't know. I just think that's like a really clear vision of our souls. You can see your soul probably be attached to some kind of music, some form of it.
Now, are the lyrics, because I know a lot of people sometimes when they're singers and they're songwriters and they're musicians, their songs usually represent who they are. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people just write music, and maybe they just write music to write it, and it's not related. But from my experience and from what I hear when people are very true to their passion of music, it's always like very personal, passionate, something they're singing about, things they've been through, helping people out there. Like, for instance, Lady Gaga, when she sang that song for, sexual assault on college campuses.
Yeah.
Everybody is creating things to raise awareness. Do you use your music in that capacity as well when you're writing and creating it?
Before Iraq, I was listening to a lot of stuff. How can I put this? I mean, when they asked us, people ask us why my style's the way it is. Everything you hear on the radio is some stuff, get a Ferrari, go to parties every night, for the most part. Some songs are really great, but if I was anything, say if that was all love music, I'd probably be It's Broken Heart. My music started out from when it really, really resonated with me was when I found out I was being cheated on by my fiance back in the States. Mm-hmm. So I wanted, I really felt like I was alone. And the only point that I felt like I wasn't alone was when I was playing music, when I started writing and playing the guitar. So I really realized and wanted to connect with people that went through what I went through or experienced something like that. Or even for the, the single parents at home that don't have money to go out. I've been in that situation where, I'm broke and I can't, I'm listening to a song talking about, popping bottles. I can't relate to that. Mm-hmm. I want it to be somebody people can relate to, that don't have those same opportunities and same lifestyle and just can't see themselves doing it, So, yeah.
Yeah, just like you said, I agree wholeheartedly, and you can see it when people. I've listened to your music and I love it. I think it's great.
Humbled, very humbled.
What actually genre would you consider your style? Would you put what category would you put it into?
I don't want to categorize it, but they keep saying rock and blues.
Rock and blues, okay.
Sounds good to me.
Rock is good, blues is good.
So they keep this soulful sound of rock and blues, I believe is the way the news station put it.
Yeah.
Well, again, like I said, I don't really listen to anything anymore. So I try to keep my fresh and original style. I don't want to sound like anybody else. I don't want to be compared to anybody else. If you like it, that's really cool. If you don't like it, it's still really cool. You know, it's not for everybody. It's for those people that can relate.
Right.
So it's less of a genre and more of a topic for me.
Right. Well, I admire that. I think that's wonderful. I like that you want to be unique and stand out, and I actually get that when I watch like your videos or I listen to when I first started listening to your music. Before I reached out to you, and I really liked it because I'm the type of the person, I'm very, I'm very diverse, and I love, diversity and listening to different things and unique sounds, and I, just the whole idea of like what you did and behind it, I found it very compelling and intriguing, and you can obviously tell that it was coming from a very deep place, an emotional place, a personal place.
Every a diary in my life, like, going out to Iraq and getting shot at and shooting back is it's kind of almost a rush. And the only thing I've ever felt close enough to that experience. I mean, think about it. You go to a war zone and everything's panicky and you're scared all the time because you don't know when you're going to get killed, and all these things go through your mind. And when you get back to the States, everything just stops.
Yeah.
And that's when a lot of veterans start to go crazy, because it's just like, okay, I'm a civilian now, but I'm used to being scared or, upset and angry. And I don't know, when I got up on stage for the first time and sang something really personal to me, it gave that rush back to me. And I don't know, they say in the music world, it's the bug. But I can't stop at this point. It's who I am. It's what I do. And I love the experience of it.
Yeah, I love the way that you say that you sing for a purpose and a topic, and that's exactly what we're talking about, in relation to, all forms of bullying and hate, and how music could help and how music can help you heal. And you perfectly explain that, because you're basically saying that it's helped you heal and get through things and make a life for yourself and a career. And you love it. I mean, you're good at it, but you also love it, and you can't beat having those two things work together.
I could be in a subway and be happy playing my music. It doesn't have to be a stage. It's for me. It really is. It's very selfish to say, but I'm playing for me.
Yeah.
And then if it reaches anybody, it just makes that experience that much more better.
Yeah.
And that's why anything that I do since and henceforth, I want it to be something that means something and has meaning. So when I saw Bullies Keep Out, that was like a no-brainer for me. It's something you don't see every day. It's something that's not addressed like it should be. So again, I'm very grateful to have gotten in contact with you about this. I'm just blown away, and I'm glad to be a part of something that has a point.
Yeah, no, and we love having you, and we love having everybody that we are advocates. But I remember when I had first heard from you, and you're like, if you have anything that, I'd be happy to play. And I was like, I think he'd be perfect to, obviously I was gonna, after I listened to your music, and I was going to reach out to you, of course, to do that. But then I was like, I'm just going to kind of go all the way and just be like, why don't you just be an advocate? Let's just go all the way with it.
Do it.
You just seem like a person that would be someone that would be a beautiful voice to add to it, and that really wanted to, sometimes, we're always reaching out, and people are always reaching out to others to get those involved. But when I have people reach out to me, I love that even more so, because I don't know, it's just a feeling of that you can tell it's something that's really personal to them, and something that they really want to do when, people come to you about these things. And so I was, so I thought that was great. And I love your work and everything you do and how you use it to, and I don't think there's anything wrong with, sometimes we do have to be selfish, and it's okay to be selfish, but I don't think you're fully being selfish, because even though you are doing it for yourself, you're also doing it for people to touch them personally, and you're not worried about if it's going to be the trendsetter or if you're going to fit in with all the other artists and all that stuff. Like, you don't seem the type of person that's looking to do that specifically.
Yeah, I could care less. It really is about, as a few times get off a stage and somebody's been through the same thing I've been through, and like I said, it just makes it that much more wholesome. When I say that it's for me too, though, I really don't know how I keep sanity without picking up that guitar,
Yeah.
and singing just screaming out. It's like screaming into a pillow, man. It really is. Empty. It hands down. So it's just that much more rich of an experience, and it's a good way to know that I'm on the path I'm meant to be on. Period.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, it's I'm glad to hear it, but it's almost like unbelievable sometimes when you hear people say, "Oh, I've yet to run into any type of negativity," and I love when I hear that because you don't want anybody to run into any type of negativity. But
See, there's a trick to that though.
But you really have not. I mean, have you really been totally negative free? Because I very rarely just run into people that haven't had some type of something.
Well, I mean, in terms of music, anyway, obviously, like I said, it can't get more negative and more low in your life when you find out your fiance's not being faithful to you while you're in a war zone.
Yeah.
All right. But when it comes to music, when I get up on stage, people know, and I tell them my story before that song, what I've done, what I've been through, and what I'm singing about.
Mm-hmm.
It's so personal and so exposing, and so vulnerable that what I've learned over time is just kind of like, how can you not respect that? You might not even like the song, but you can't knock me. You can't. If somebody's knocked me at an event, I never heard about it. Yeah. Because half of the crowd understood that this guy's on stage singing about something that really hurt him. It's embarrassing. I get on stage and I sing a song that I wrote. It's embarrassing to me to sing that song, but I sing it anyway. Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's how you present yourself on stage. I'm not going up there trying to be, Whitney Houston or like some famous. I'm amazing. I don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get up on stage. I mess up on my guitar. I'll miss a note, but I think if you're sincere and you're not trying to be anything other than yourself.
Yes.
Regardless, even if there is some negativity, I don't see it.
Yeah.
It's gone. You know what I'm saying? Anything, you could say whatever. My mind is in my song. Yeah. When I get off the stage, the people that liked it confront me. So that crowd around me is blocking the people that didn't like it.
Yeah. That's an awesome way to think about it. Because I always say, if you're positive and you keep your mind closed off to it.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's a technique. Yeah.
Mind you, Facebook. Yeah. I've gotten a few trolls, I think is what we call them now.
Yeah.
But then the beauty of that is I go block.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
That's it. That's what we always say: block and ignore. Because if you engage, that's what they want you to do. And I don't think you're gonna ever escape it on social media in any form whatsoever, especially doing what you do.
Just enjoy. I mean, like it's the character of the person too. Like I said, I know some bands that are amazing to get negativity, but I get off a stage and I go home. I'm not the type to stay around and have a few drinks and then leave.
Yeah.
You would see me gone just as fast as I came.
Yeah.
So I keep myself in a music box, literally, and that's it. So I don't have a chance to find out if somebody didn't like it. Or if this guy's mad at me because his girl was listening to the song and was jamming.
Yeah.
I don't stick around.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm a soldier. I do my job and I leave. I do what I want to do. Happy and blessed. I'm blessed. Somebody else is blessed. That's it. So I think I'm an exception, to the criticism that the artists get. Because
I definitely think that you have a technique that is of value and it works, and it's actually something that other people can actually utilize as well. And you can block out negativity, and some people say, "Oh, it's impossible." You can, and I mean, I think that there's a point where sometimes you can. But in your situation, I love the fact that you're saying you're being yourself and you're telling everybody to be themselves, because obviously we always preach that as well. Oh, be authentic. I think the more authentic you are, even though it's some form you're going to get it somewhere, whether it's offline, online, but I think the more authentic you are, the more people appreciate it. And I wasn't aware that you actually told that story when you go up on stage. That's actually very revealing to a whole entire audience.
If I'm going up there disarmed, I'm going to disarm the audience.
Yeah.
Let them, hey, listen, I'm not coming up here because I think I'm the hottest artist on the planet. I'm coming up here because I have something to tell you guys about. And I have a revelation, and how can you not? how can you not? I've never met anybody that cold-hearted. They would
Yeah.
have some, or that I don't know. Maybe I've been lucky with the stages I pick. You don't see me at a bar.
Well, it's true. I mean, but you just always feel that so much judgment goes around in the world today. There would be somebody always wanting to say something, especially when you're making yourself so vulnerable. But if you've been, honestly, if you've been blessed to where you have not had to face that, that's amazing.
Like I said, it's complex. Like when I first started, there's people like this. It was constructive criticism,
Yeah.
things like that. But when you get up on stage and say, "Okay, my name's Wolf Critton. I've been through this. I'm an Iraq war veteran. I'm endorsed by Luna Guitars, Icon, DanaJ, Shore microphones," and you're standing up there and you have all these people that they see that are behind you, brands that they know of and support. How can you not, let that guy off easy?
We all would I mean, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? I mean, it's great. And it seems you have been, though. It seems you've had the luck to where you've gotten that. And I hope it stays that way. And even if it doesn't, you seem like a person that knows exactly how you want to handle it. But also, I think you have a technique that I think that you're able to not even recognize it, even if it was there. And that's amazing.
Exactly. If there's any artists listening, one of the key things when it comes to that is pick your shows. Know what shows you shouldn't do, what shows fit your genre. I'm an acoustic rock and blues artist. Acoustic guitars aren't in clubs. I got a library I'm playing at tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We do concerts. We stick within our genre. What I sing about isn't negativity. It's positivity. So the people that come to listen to acoustic music, normally 9 times out of 10, that pocket is a lot calmer. They're just there to listen to music. I can't say the same for rap or anything else outside of that. Heavy metal. I don't know. But in my genre, my world of music, we're all pretty cool. We're all pretty mellow and a bunch of hippies.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to come out to a show myself. But I love that. I love that that you have that mentality, and it's a good thing for us to be talking about and to get to the audience, because positivity is so important, and it's your mind is very powerful, and it can do so much. And actually, I was just listening to something that Betty White was saying, and it was an interview, and of course they were talking about everything going on in the world today, but Betty White said, and it was something that everyone was sharing, and I loved it. I don't know if you saw it, because I actually shared it, and she just kept saying, like, yeah, she said she stayed happy 95 years. Okay, the woman's 95, fabulous. I love her. She's amazing. But she gave some advice that I think we don't ever really take into consideration. She says that she stayed happy for all those years because she stays positive. She doesn't start her day with, I can't, I don't like, I don't want to, I hate. She said when you start from those and your foundation is built on that negativity, she's like, that's just what you're asking for.
Universe will give you what you're asking for.
Exactly. What you put out is what you get back. So she said that even though you might not like something, or you're not happy with something, or we're not happy with the state of things, or whatever it may be, she's like, you have to still try to look at it from a different perspective and have a different point of view on it, and listen to people, understand things, and keep yourself as positive as you can, because in doing so, that's how things get done. And I loved it so much, and I was like, sitting there, and it's like, because we all mess up, we all say that, but, we're going to have our moments. I have my moments. Even though you do mentoring or life coaching, no matter what you do, we all have our moments because we're human beings, and it's okay to be a human being.
It's how you can.
Yes.
Period.
It's how you handle it.
Moment,
It's how you handle it. It's how you respond to it. And it's all that. And sometimes you get people that just can't let their minds listen because their minds aren't quieted. And I think that's where music actually helps a lot of people and comes in. But yeah, I loved what she said, and it's almost like a very similar message to what you're saying, which is why I brought it up.
No. I'm gonna watch it. This will be stuff.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. I'll send it to you. It's amazing, and I just, you just sit there for a little while, and you're just like, who cannot love this woman? She has advice at 95 years old, and you have to say it's obviously worked for her. She looks wonderful. She looks great. She's 95. She's still working. She's doing interviews. She's gallivanting around. You gotta admire that.
Elder that you can only help but love. You know, I can't wait to see it. I got to check this out. Like, I really think I like her.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. But it's things like that that we see that really, which is why I love to do these interviews and get so many different perspectives with everybody that I work with, and that, you know, I connect with and become friends, because I love the interaction and the communication and what it can give people, because everybody's story helps somebody else. So how I want to close out is how I usually close out, and I always ask everybody is what.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is when we can sit here and talk for hours. I just don't know if anybody would watch it. They'd probably be like, "Okay, we're tired of listening to them talk." What is some words of wisdom or advice that you would want to give people out there? Whether, like I said, you know, whether it comes to bullying, hate, LGBTQ community, you know, everything that we advocate for is all types of forms of bullying. So adults, youth, anybody, like a universal message that you would want to send out there.
Well, you know, I really feel like we definitely see, it's like summing up what we talked about, because that's really what it comes down to. Comes to mind is do what makes you happy. You know, live your life in positivity. It's hard, I know, but the universe will give it right back to you, man. Yeah, man, just do what makes you happy. Do what brings you peace, and the chips will fall in place.
Awesome. Excellent advice. And yeah, I think we pretty much summed it up within the conversation, but you know, I always like to, like, you know, sometimes you forget something and you want to throw something in there, you want to add something. So
Hey, that was fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do them all the time. We do them, you know, sometimes we do them more than once, you know. It's fun. It's for a great cause, and it's really important. And obviously, we're going to be continuing working together, so everyone's going to have more of Will Critton.
Tell me how the video goes. Now I can send you, finally. We've been slacking, man. We've been slacking.
Yes. We have our schedules crazy, and you know.
No, it's picking up now. Like, everything's, you know, I'm spacing things out a little bit. So yeah, you know, I want to do things in pieces, and at this point in time, I just want to focus on Bullies Keep Out avocation. And also we're doing some stuff with Luna guitars.
Great.
So I'm doing things in sections. That way I can do them. You know.
Yes, absolutely. Trust me. I hear you. Our lives can get so busy that things just get thrown to the side or forgotten about. So, we look forward to more things and your PSA and doing all types of fun stuff and things for the cause. And I want to thank you again for taking the time out of your day and also for becoming an advocate.
Listen, you get me back in 10 minutes. We'll do this again. I don't care. Anytime.
We will definitely do it again. And we always are doing amazing things and great things at BKO. So, yeah. We're always working with, everybody and just keeping things going and keeping the flow going. So there will be more.
All right. Listen, I actually have to go now.
Yes, I actually do too. And I think we're at a point where people are going to be like, okay, click.
No, it's all the goals. And, I'll talk to you online. And I'm checking out this Betty White thing.
Absolutely. I hope everybody I hope everybody enjoyed this interview. Be kind and love big, guys.
Yeah.